This is not your traditional laptop now, is it? Well, on the face of it, it looks like a traditional laptop, but there's a lot more to it than that. This is the HP Chromebook, the 14-inch version, not the much maligned 11-inch version. This is the bigger screen, the much more premium and a much more comfortable machine to use. What you see here is the Chrome OS on the screen. This is Google's latest attempt at basically getting us another operating system in our lives, in our daily lives. We already have the phone. Now we basically could pretty much be giving up our desktop to Google as well. Not that that's a bad thing, but let me just carry on with how this machine is. In terms of looks and design, it's a fairly basic minimalistic looking machine. On Once it's closed, if you hide the Chrome logo here, this looks like pretty much any other laptop. Slightly thicker at the back, slightly thinner at the front, but while that's mostly a visual illusion, there's that little bit of difference that makes the keyboard a tad more comfortable to use. The ports are spread on both sides of the keyboard, the two spines, nothing at the back, so that's a good thing. Open it up and you have your traditional keyboard as you would find on any other HP laptop for that matter. And one of the good things about this particular keyboard is that it's retained all the good things that we've said about HP keyboards over the last few months. The key size is perfect, the key spacing is good, the key travel is fine. The only thing is it's not as sharp as you would expect it on a higher end machine. But that's nothing to be worried about because you get used to that very, very quickly. Fairly big touchpad, the integrated keys, well, you basically get used to the idea. We are fans of having separate right and left click buttons, but this is okay, again, something that you get used to. A slight color change here from the white on the lid and the bezel to a gray silver finish here. That's possibly the only contrast you'll find on this machine because the base again becomes white. Talking about the OS, Google has said that this platform, Chrome OS, will get an update every week. Well, till now, Google has basically come true on that promise of a weekly update. In the last 3 weeks we've had this machine, we have seen 3 updates being installed on this particular Chromebook. One, every time it brings in minor changes, but this time it did bring in a slightly significant change. The app drawer that you see now on the left bottom corner of the screen, where your traditional Windows Start button might be in Windows 7 or Windows XP or Windows Vista, it now sits here instead of sitting here where it used to be earlier. Till now, the Google Chrome logo used to be the first logo. That's a very slight change that Google has made. With the Chrome OS, it feels as if Google has tried to blend in elements from the Chrome web browser and certain elements from the Android UI. Let us look at this little taskbar, for example. Click anywhere on the taskbar and what you get is a little card here. This card shows you the battery time left, the date, the time, shutdown, lock the screen, your Wi-Fi status, the account you've signed in from, and an access to settings. Now, if you click on settings, what opens is the Chrome web browser. This is again very similar to what you may have already seen on the Chrome browser if you were using it on Windows or on a Mac. The only thing is now you get additional options here, like Bluetooth, for example, or maybe even setting up Cloud Print, or the accessibility options, and how to reset the machine. Interestingly, there are not many display settings or keyboard settings that you can get. Now, you have multiple resolution options for this particular screen. Let's change the resolution and show you how it looks. The moment you change the resolution to higher than the standard 1366 768, the crispness just goes for a toss. Now, I don't really think that's the best solution to go with, but at least there are options here which Google has provided for the Chrome OS, but I don't really see the purpose of these anyway. You have your keyboard settings. By default on this keyboard, the caps lock key is actually the search key. You can change the behavior for this from default search. I have gotten it back to caps lock, so I'm pretty much back to using just any other laptop. very basic settings, you can't really do much with it. And again, apart from changing the wallpaper on this, you really don't have many customization options. Now, as far as the apps are concerned, that's a big question that a lot of people have asked us. What about the apps on this? Well, most of the apps that you get on the Chrome OS will actually be browser based. So you have a bunch of apps installed here. Click on any of these and you go straight into the browser. You see the tabs opening here? This is pretty much it. So there's no desktop environment per se with the Chrome OS. It's all a part of the web browser, which may be very good for people. Now, there are people who use Google Docs and who use Gmail regularly. We use it for our official and personal use, and who may not need too much other distractions while they're probably working or they're on the move. So for them, this is like a perfect solution. Another good thing that helps people on the move is the excellent battery life. Now, we've used this as a primary machine, and without fail, this machine will give you 8 hours of backup if you're using it in a typical at work kind of a usage scenario where you have multiple web tabs open, or you're probably listening to music in the background for a while. That's about it. While you can get Angry Birds on this particular machine, we haven't done it yet, but again, the range of applications that you'll get are limited. So if you're already using those applications on your Windows or Mac, switching over to this particular platform and this machine will be a very simple task. However, if you rely on third-party apps like we do for our web uploads and stuff, we cannot really switch to Chrome OS as our primary laptop. Well, we can use it as a secondary machine for Google Docs and for some other stuff, but not for every task. So just be careful about that before you purchase this machine. It's got its good points: very light form factor, simple to use operating system, excellent battery life, but there's always that little issue that you need to kind of figure out regarding the apps and whether this suits your usage style.